What's going on, y'all? It's Jason Mo Reviews here, back at it again with another video, man. Little bit of a quieter couple weeks, but it's that quiet before the storm, right? We just had Still Outside, but this weekend, I know Fonz and Clips is going down, Battle Rap Committee out there in Ohio, but I believe most of that is one-rounders, or all, I think it's like T-Top and Dice, Don Marino and Rosenberg, and then Fonz and Clips, right? So nothing like too crazy, a little bit of stuff to watch, but not like big three-rounders. But then you got Bullpen and the Riot the weekend after that, 26-28. So obviously big recaps for that, two big events in one weekend. But until then, barring some announcements and stuff, I could see it being another just a little bit of a quiet 5 to 7 days until that starts ramping up promo-wise. So what video do we got here today? I was thinking of like what battle rappers are on a run, who can I spotlight, give some love to, and I realized I have not done a bill collector Book 'em. Any of you that have seen this series, Book 'em is where we pick the next 5 best matchups for a battler. The 5 spot being maybe the most unrealistic, maybe me reaching out there, and then the number 1 spot being the battler I think they should battle next. Listen, man, Bill Collector's doing great things top of 2024. Pretty quiet last year schedule-wise, 3 battles, right? So we had Big Walk, Bad News, and then he had one more battle. Cheat Happens last year. So pretty quiet, good results for the most part, nothing crazy, but just, down in volume from where he's been other years. But now you look, he's already got 3 battles this year. Clean paper joint, a rematch, a classic that probably didn't need to be touched. But cool battle, what I'm saying? I had Bill Collector edging the battle, but then from there, Chess, Body Bag, smokes him, and then Tay-Rock and him just had a fantastic battle out there on Still Outside. One of the best battles of the year so far. So I'm thinking there's matchups out there. He's talking a little bit of shit, throwing a little bit of shots, some grudge matches, some just big matches as he deserves the way he's been battling. But I have a few ideas here, some matchup based and some rewarding him with some of these bigger plates that he's been getting and should continue getting if he's going to be rapping like this, right? So without further ado, let's start from the bottom of the list. So starting here at number 5, and I always say, like I said in the beginning of this video, my 5 is my reach spot. This is the one that maybe not be the most realistic. I'll tell you right now, I don't foresee how this battle would be happening right now, or just stock-wise, who would book it. Maybe Bill would be interested in it, but I like it because of this Devil Bar Bill era where Bill has went so much heavier into the pen and into the back-to-back chain punching. And that's why I think Bill Collector versus Chilla Jones, while not the craziest, biggest blockbuster, right, will just be a really, really good matchup if Bill wants to have some competition in between that isn't those top plates. And Chilla Jones is still a respectable top tier. Obviously, activity has dropped less in the last few years. He's kind of geared towards other things, but still available to battle. And I think this is one that you get a more serious version of both. Highly respected to both of them pen-wise. Bill even more for his all-around game. And Chilla is a bit of an underrated angler himself, but not nearly as all-around gifted as Bill Collector. But it's just a good battle. Some of these are going to be more shots that have been thrown before, more of a conversation, things like that. But this one, style-wise, as Bill has cemented himself in more of one of the more elite pens in battle rap, why not just go battle another elite pen? To me, there's never anything wrong with that. Then at number 4, another pen-heavy battle for Bill Collector, but one that's been talked about a little bit more. We've heard noise about this going back a couple years, and that is Bill Collector versus JC. Now, the prime time for this to happen was a volume card at the end of the year following JC's loss to Sue Surf. Now, it wasn't obviously wasn't the greatest time after he lost to Surf, but there was still, before it got to Miss Hustle and the way he's been booked way down and kind of had some lapses, losing the clutch, right? But before all that, lost to Surf, you bounce right back to over Bill in a volume. Could be a great look for both. Bill was climbing his way up, coming back to URL at that point and getting some of those bigger plates. I think he had gotten like Nitty as his first plate on URL, returning plate to URL before that. So I think it just would have made sense, and maybe that was the best time for it. But now I'm still with it. One, I think Bill Collector would be the heavy favorite right now, as he should be, and I would have him winning. But I still think it's a matchup worth taking. It's a top-tier pennant opponent that you've had some noise with before. You've battled most top tiers, so Chilla and JC are just a couple of the more notable names that you haven't battled. JC in particular, like I said, heavy favorite going in, and he'll win on JC, even though I think he's been going through one of the worst stretches of his career, right? If not the worst stretch of his career currently, but there's still name value in that win, and it would build to this case where, imagine if I could say on paper, he's got clean battle wasn't great, had Imagine a win, right? But then the Tay-Rock battle's fantastic. He bodied Chess and he beat JC. It starts to look really crazy. I know he said before he's lost interest in the matchup, and I'm sure that right now he thinks his profile is above it. He's kind of spoken to that before, but I still think there's some advantages to that for Bill Collector. Wouldn't be a bad battle for him to take, but From there, you get into the top 3, and I will say there's a difference between the 4 and 5 here. Penn heavyweight, still good names in JC and Chilla, but these top 3 to me are all kind of like big moment types of things, big name types of battles, headliners really. And at number 3, somebody that he just called out, I believe yesterday on PSA Reloaded, Bill Collector versus Hollow Don. Now, how can you not like this? When you think unorthodox, all around full bag of tricks, more witty lines than straight up haymakers, but can do comedy and angles, right? I just feel like Bill and Hollow in so many ways, while they're not, I can't say they're similar battlers. You can't really put them in a category, but they somehow feel the same, if that makes any sense. I don't know how to explain it, but I think that they could have an incredible battle since they can both get into so many different bags. You could have the freestyling versus each other a little bit of comedy versus each other, and the bar for bar, because we both know they can get into that chain punching kind of mode, and I think it could, maybe not to the same level, but when I look at the matchup Ill Will versus Hollow Don was, I see a lot of those just similarities across the board with a Bill and a Hollow. He called them out. It's a god tier play at the end of the day, although a Hollow battle right now may not be as just like career changing as it was, let's say 5 years ago, right? It's still a Hollow battle. It's still a very big accomplishment. Another big time name Bill hasn't battled, and they've exchanged a little bit of words. Not just Bill shooting the shot the other day. They've talked before. Bill's saying he's running with the momentum Bill's got right now, getting a god tier in the resume, more than deserved. Only reason it's at 3 and not higher is because I actually think Bill would clearly beat Hollow Don. I think the current form he's in right now, he could really give Hollow problems. But, we just have to wait and see. I still think it's a great matchup, though, especially if both of them want it. And that leaves you with the top 2 matchups. And here at number 2, it's one that Bill hasn't actually had too much back and forth with. I think that if I had to guess, there's a ton of respect between him and this opponent. But it's someone that, similar to the other ones we talked about here, I think he matches up particularly well style-wise. And it's a battle that's definitely worth Bill Collector's time. That is Bill Collector versus Ill Will. I've seen a couple people kind of see tweets here and there about it. I don't see real crazy noise behind it, but I've seen people pitch the idea, and I don't understand why they wouldn't. I think it's great. I know that both of them are guys that are later in their career and in great stretches right now where Ill and Bill are. And outside of God tier plates, there's just not that much for them to do for the most part, right? A couple, we could find an opponent here and there that's just really good over there and just go skill for skill. But for the most part, there's not a lot left for either. And I think skill for skill, Ill Will versus Bill Collector is one of those, especially when you take in off URL, you know what I'm saying, 2 guys that aren't battling on URL right now. It just makes sense to me. And similar to what I said about Bill versus Hollow, kind of what I said about Hollow and Will, it's kind of a triangle of guys that have crazy all-around capabilities. They can be super funny and entertaining, go that direction. They can be super cynical with an angle, really go character breakdown. They can also just bar away, perform away, get very animated. I just think it's another example of that. And to the higher degree, because I think Hollow, even though a lot of people say Ill Will and Hollow is debatable, this is my opinion, but I thought Will clearly won that battle. Great second from Hollow, but thought first and third, Will was kind of showing the difference in where he is right now in the modern landscape of battle rap and the heavy hitter that he is. And I think him and Bill just has the potential to be a little bit higher quality and more sense of competition, my personal opinion, right? But Ill Will, Hollow, either way, you're getting other all-time great, all-around type of battlers battling Bill Collector. Matchup makes sense. Big matchup, could be a headliner on most cards. Just think they're all great looks for Bill Collector to keep building that profile. And then at number 1, the biggest grudge match that Bill's got on the table right now, and that is Bill Collector versus Big K. The filthy Bill comments from over here, right? And then you got Bill saying Big K is a goofball, a clown, a racist, and that he'll smoke him. That's what you want. You know what I'm saying? You want 2 guys that, hopefully you get to the battle. It's not the physical, none of that, but you want them to really not like each other. There's a different energy that you just can't replicate unless 2 battlers genuinely got a little bit of disdain for each other, if not a lot of disdain in this situation. But Big K's coming off of a Cody victory. Next battle ever, since then he's going to have a battle out in Ireland, I believe. But very stock high, similar to the way that I think the Ill Will battle and Bill, right? It's good to get them both stock high. And Bill, with what he just did with his Tay-Rock and chess battles, I think it's, even though I had him at 1-1, I do think that it's a debatable battle with Rock, you know what I mean? So either way, it's a great look for him. And it's just peak. This is what you want. 2 guys, A game right now, and don't like each other. The way the styles would match up to me is kind of the funniest part about this battle. I'm not really sure. You have guys that Big K has turned into much more of an all-around battle rapper, really an angle-heavy battle rapper as opposed to the puncher you've known him for, although he still punches, right? But it's not like, I don't know, maybe it is more of an all-around matchup because they both can be funny. We've seen Big K get into the funny bag. By no means is it the same amount of animation and performance that Bill can reach. I think that's probably what he has that separates it, is how animated and performative he can get, right? And particularly on a big stage, I think that's a pro Bill type of feature. But I think K's got him a little bit in the punching department. Both of them are elite rappers, but they go about the way they rap so differently. There's just so many things that match up with it. Taken to the fact that you're going to get max effort because they don't fuck with each other. I think it's worthwhile on both sides. I think Bill Collector is, even though he's always a good name, especially with how crazy he's gotten right now, for him to be the first big battle for K post-Cody, the first kind of big name battle, I just think it makes sense for both. It's a great matchup that's kind of spurned up naturally, and I know that Bill said it could have went down on Chrome, that K had turned it down on his side. K's denying it, of course. We don't know exactly, but hopefully somewhere in the next 3 to 4 months, we could get this battle, because I think it's probably a guaranteed good battle whenever it goes down. And that is my top 5 there. Matchups that I think are great for Bill Collector. Book them. That's the name of the series, and that's why I named them. I think that all of them would make sense for most leagues that could book them. Obviously, with Bill, kind of just seems like being away from URL for a bit. It just makes it so I'm kind of thinking in a way, too, of not too many of the on-URL talents, although he's battled almost everyone on URL as well. You know what I mean? So for the most part, I think you take the league factor out of it, this is still probably the list that you're looking at. And pretty much all 5 of these names here are known to travel league to league and do different things. Most of them actually aren't even currently battling on URL. So it just makes sense, man. But I think they're all great matchups. I'd love to hear what you guys think in the comments down below. What are some good matchups for Bill Collector? There is one that I did leave off that I know Bill himself has mentioned. That is Bill Collector versus Daylight. I don't think I have to explain, as I always do when I bring up Daylight, why I'm not putting him on a list. Man just showed up on J. Cole's album as well, so he's definitely out of here. But even before that, the brother wasn't battling. So it's a good matchup. I think the way that they've rapped is so similar with the chain punching. There's something special there, but it doesn't make that list for me for that reason. You still get those pen-heavy matchups like a JC, like a Chilla, like a Hollow, if you consider him in the pen-heavy category. But any other matchups besides Daylight, I would love to hear what you guys think. I didn't put too many new guys or mid-tiers, and I know that Bill's big on giving shots, so maybe a couple of those. And I just can't wait to see what he does next. If I had to do an early sketch of, we're through the first quarter of battle rap, it's hard to say. It's impossible to say, actually, that Bill has not been at least a top 3 battle rapper in the first quarter of 2024. So he's had some high-ranking Cody years. He's had some years where he's gotten off to good starts and slowed down, or started slow and then did great things later. But listen, a chest body bag, granted, chest has turned into the free space on a bingo board, but the performance he gave, incredible. And then the Tay-Rock battle, incredible. It's really some of his best work. I just can't wait to see the way he adds on to it, and hopefully with other big names. But it's been J Smo Reviews again, y'all. As I said, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of Bill's run, who we should battle next. I'm going to catch you on the next one, man. Peace.